Hi, Terry. Thanks for joining me on Not Nosy, Just Curious podcast. Means a lot to me. We've been friends a long, long time.
Yes, we have, and you're welcome.
Okay, and what we're going to talk about today is just girl talk, right?
Yes.
And we discussed earlier about our multiple marriages and where it got us today. And what I found so interesting about your transparency was your first marriage and your second marriage. So your first marriage, you married right out of high school, very young.
Yes.
And you managed somehow to make that marriage last 14 years. You want to tell me how you did
it? That's a good question. A lot of perseverance, believing that marriage was supposed to last forever.
You believe that?
Yeah, I did.
How come? As a young independent woman, how did you convince yourself marriage was supposed to last? I mean, it should.
It should.
I'm not trying to dismiss
No.
it. It's a good theory.
My parents, even though it was not a good marriage, lasted 25 years. So I thought that
you thought you were in this forever, no matter.
Yeah. I thought that it was kind of up to me to make it last.
Okay.
And that I needed to be a good wife and a good partner.
So when you say a good wife, that meant something to you, a wife. That was a role. That wasn't just something very superficial. You were committed to that role as a wife.
And my mother tried to be a good wife.
Wow, I never thought of myself as a wife in my multiple failed unions. So you did.
Yes.
You thought a wife should, very old-fashioned, should take care of and handle and be there and be nurturing.
Yes.
Okay. And,
yes.
And you learned by example. Your ma was this.
Yes.
Okay.
And he worked afternoons. And so I would get up at 11 o'clock at night and I would make his dinner.
You did this?
Oh my God, yes. And he would bring somebody home from work with him. And instead of me having a meal, because I was on a limited income for shopping, even though he kept the money, and instead of me eating dinner with him, I would give my meal to whomever he brought home. And
let me just interrupt. You never felt resentful 1 minute during
not at
this?
That point.
You didn't.
No.
You did it graciously, and this was my role as a wife.
Yes. And after they left, I would draw him a bath because we didn't have a shower. Oh, yes. We did not have a shower. So I would draw him a bath.
Okay.
Because I did not want him crawling into bed with me greasy after he got home from Chrysler's.
So now we're talking what? 1 a.m?
Yes.
And then you would, of course, handle your wifely duties because you were a wife.
I cleaned up the kitchen and did the dishes and went to bed. And if he wanted anything, and then I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning and went to work as a waitress.
And you never, Terry, got resentful?
Not at that point.
So fast forward 2 children later, and now it's year 10. Now you built a home, you're living good, right? Your bills are paid, your children are taken care of.
But I'm still on a very, very tight budget, given very little money for groceries.
At this point,
I'm starting to get a little bit resentful.
You are?
Yes, because
why start?
He could go out and do whatever he wanted. He would go to archery with our friend Zach, my girlfriend Deb's husband, and he would go shooting and do whatever he wanted, but I couldn't do anything. No, I could not.
So those were the rules in the marriage. You can't do.
Right. I didn't have the money to spend. He had a car. He could go do anything he wanted. I could not. And even I started to get a little resentful earlier on, before we had children. When we lived in the apartment, I would want to go see my girlfriend Terry. And he would say, I would want to take him to work because we only had one car. And then I would pick him back up when he got off of work. And he would say, why should I let you? What have you done for me lately?
And you remember that?
Oh my God, like it was yesterday. Like it was yesterday.
But you said something very interesting at lunch today that your ma had said to you. what was it? Half.
Half a father is better than no father at
Is
all.
was that the?
But no, I did not believe that.
You didn't believe.
Oh,
that.
not for my family. I did not believe.
So, was he a good father?
He was a good father to the girls until he started drinking.
So this was never on your plate before. This was not something you had to champion through.
No.
No. Okay, so that was a new acquisition.
Yes.
And that was around year 10?
Around there.
Right around there. And
Yes.
you already had the girls.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I had Vicky after we'd been married 5 years.
Okay.
And around year 10, I had Annie.
All right.
And that's when he started.
And do you think, Terry, when you had Annie, that maybe you were suffering a little postpartum?
No.
You didn't?
I never felt any postpartum whatsoever with either one of my girls.
Never?
Never.
Did you feel like the role of parenting was exclusively yours?
Pretty much.
You did?
Pretty much.
Okay, so then after 14 years, you decide you have enough of this.
No, it was about 16 years.
16 years.
And I had really had enough.
Now, do you think a lot of young women have this kind of cycle where after 16, 15 years, they realize, this isn't working?
Depends on what's going on in their marriage. Like I said, he was drinking and he was getting mean.
So was the drinking a deal breaker or the meanness was a deal?
Combined.
So would
my father had been an alcoholic.
Okay, so you had already
drinking, it was really
a challenge for you.
Yes.
Oh, okay. But not a deal breaker.
Getting there.
The mean was the deal breaker.
Well, the mean comes with the drinking.
Oh, it does?
Yes, it does.
Oh, okay. But he was a functioning drinker?
He was, in that he was working, and I found out after the fact that he was hiding a bottle of booze in his car, and he would go out on his breaks and he would drink during his breaks. So he would also drink on his way home. And little did I know that even before the girls were born, he was doing that. And he had had an accident with one of our brand new cars because he was drunk on a Saturday and he smashed it up.
Well, you know, I so believe that little did you know moniker. People go, how can you not know you lived? But, you know, I understand that not know. Because when somebody's good at hiding it, they can be very good at it.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Yeah. So,
so with the mouthwash and the gum, he constantly chewed gum.
Really?
Oh my God. Yes.
Then that's what piqued your.
No, I didn't think anything of it.
Oh, okay. Not until the car accident?
No, I didn't even think anything of it at that point.
You didn't?
No.
So until you found the bottle, you were not suspicious of anything like that?
No, it was, believe it or not, I wasn't suspicious of it until around the 13th year.
Really? So Terry,
he was putting, you know what? A friend of ours, an old friend, no longer, Debbie Borza. She's the one that said, Terry, that's not Verner's in his glass. That's booze.
So before that, you never had inclination to go behind his back or be the suspicious or check so you were not that wife.
No, she was the one that pointed it out.
And so in having her tell you, it became you very aware of it. So she kind of saved you a little bit from this. Yes. So you credit her for that. So, I mean, when this was it over, Terry, and that was it? Can't stand him?
No, done. I couldn't stand him. I didn't want to be around him. I couldn't stand his voice. I couldn't stand him to touch me.
You were done.
I was totally done.
Done.
That was it.
There was no reconciliation there. Did he ever want reconciliation?
Oh, he definitely wanted reconciliation. He wanted to buy me a brand new car before he wouldn't give me anything. He would do anything, he said.
And that was it.
Oh, that was it. He got mean. He raped me.
Oh, that's it. So as you reflect, we haven't proceeded to the next husband. We're just on this one. As you reflect and you know what you know now, did you love him? I mean, you were 17, Terry.
I don't know if a part of me might have loved him, and a part of me kind of wanted out of the situation that I was in.
Mm-hmm.
I was raising my younger brother and sister because my mother had a
Okay,
worked
very
two
fair.
jobs.
All right. It's very fair. That'll do it to get
Mhm.
away. So then, stage 2, you meet your next husband.
Yes.
This man you love.
Oh, I loved him with all my heart.
Love, love, love.
Oh, absolutely.
This is the love you know as true love.
Absolutely.
And this marriage lasts
16 years.
16 years.
But we were together almost 20.
So this marriage showed, I mean, you were idyllic.
Absolutely.
You had the big home, you lived an opulent life, you had timeshares, you were traveling, everything was good,
Yes.
driving the new fancy car. But what about the money, Terry?
I was turning all my money over to him.
Right.
Sight unseen.
Is
just
that
signing my checks?
is
giving them
that
to him.
considered wifely? Was that part of your thought process
Yes,
of being
I
a
think
good?
it was, because I wanted us to build a future.
And you truly, to this day, you believe in that because you weren't raised that way. So my curiosity is, how did you go down that path?
I was raised, we were very poor.
Right.
So
But you saw your mom bust her ass every day in a restaurant. So she was this little pit bull you had for an example, yet you became very generous with your money. You
because I
still are
thought
very
we-
generous.
yes,
This is
I-
your nature.
yes, I thought we were building a future together for our family.
Did you
and for
have to
our
be
retirement.
spoon fed that, or you were on board 100%?
Well, he was telling me we were building our future together.
Okay, and because you
And I
loved him
believed
so,
it, yes. And I
certainly.
believed it because I did. love
And
him
you
so
will
much.
stand by that too.
And we put our girls through college
yes,
together.
and there's no college debt or nothing.
No, we
Right.
paid off their college. They didn't have to
And
pay a
did you
penny,
realize-
and bought them cars.
No, that's what I was going to ask you next, Terry. Did you realize at that time you were living this very opulent, privileged life? Did you realize it?
I didn't feel like it.
You didn't.
No, I just felt, we were doing something good together.
And you never asked him for any accountability on you because you had a very good job.
Yes, I did.
Yes. And you never asked him for any accountability on where the money was being spent.
No.
You just knew
I got an allowance, and he spent whatever he wanted.
and you never had to worry about your house payment or the cars or any of that.
No,
You just got your little allowance, and you probably had a charge card somewhere.
I had a charge card. I didn't put a lot on it, but I had a charge card.
Did you feel empty?
As far as
Did you feel resentful making the money you made and having you never got, I don't know how to say it. I mean, you never got were you questioned where all this money was going? I know you built this home
no,
and
went
all your
into-
needs
it
were
went
met.
It went into investments, and
And you never
for
said,
many years
I don't know.
I saw the investment.
Okay, but you never said, I don't know if I agree with that investment. Maybe it's a little risky. You never.
No.
Okay, so now it's coming to the end of that marriage, right?
Right.
And you go on this rampage. Are you consciously on this rampage to destroy him financially?
Pretty
You
much,
start
kind of,
gambling.
yes, I
Yes.
did start gambling, and he wasn't coming home. He worked for Ford, and he was going to Mexico 2 or 3 days a month. And it got to the point to where he was only coming home 2 or 3 days a month. And I started wondering what was keeping him in Mexico. And so I started gambling.
Because you knew that was how to hurt him.
Yes.
Now, how did you access the money?
We had an investment account,
Mhm.
and there was a checkbook for it.
And you took advantage of that.
I took $1,000, and
Just
I took a
$1,000.
check from the back, just 1,000. I
Okay.
took a check from the back of the checkbook, and only 1,000.
Okay.
And I cashed it at the casino. And he didn't know until the statement came in at the end of the month, and he had a fit.
Now,
that I stole $1,000
so
from
he
him.
accused you of stealing.
Oh yes, and he told everybody in his
But up
family
until
that I
that
stole
point, Terry,
$1,000.
did you have any interest up until that point about gambling?
Not really.
As I say, I don't remember you ever.
No. But he wasn't coming home.
So the gambling kind of filled a hole.
Yes, it did.
It gave you
Gave me
some.
something to do with
Yeah.
the time he was gone.
Was there an underlying, I want to ruin him kind of thing?
I didn't realize it at the time, but I do.
As you
believe that was
reflect
it.
now.
Yes.
Yes. Do you think you did some financial damage to him?
Mm-mm.
No. So when you leave this marriage,
That lousy $1,000 was no good.
right, right, you took it from the back of the checkbook. Sneaky you. Now, when you leave this marriage, you leave with nothing.
Correct.
Were you you wanted to be out of it that bad that
Oh,
you just said, I'm
yeah.
done, let me go,
By then, I
bye-bye.
knew he had girlfriends,
Okay.
more than one.
But you knew all along. You must have had a feeling.
Yes, I
Yeah.
definitely had a gut
See,
feeling.
this is where women screw up. We have that intuition, that seventh sense. Pay attention, ladies. It's right on.
Absolutely.
And we make excuses for it. And then
Absolutely.
afterwards we go, I had a feeling.
That's right.
I had a feeling. And then we just don't believe it.
Right.
Because you had
Because I
16
started to
years.
get a divorce,
Right.
and then I pulled back on it.
Because he made you, because you had your little come to Jesus meeting, your words.
Yes.
So you stop all that action.
Yes.
Because you thought the girlfriends were gone or the marriage was going to get better.
I thought the marriage was going to get better.
And it did
I
for a
loved him
while, you
so
said.
much. Yes.
Do you think, Terry, as you look back on it, that love can be toxic?
What can be.
Right, right?
Yes, especially when they're lying to you.
Right.
And
So-
he was lying.
But do you think, what kind of story do you think he'd be telling right now?
Oh, what a bitch I was.
Right,
And,
and how
he's
you
pulled
ruined
my
him.
youngest daughter away from me.
Yeah, I believe that. I do believe that. So would you advocate for love? Would you tell a young woman today, good for you, if you love him, everything's going to be fine?
I would, to a degree, and I would say be careful and do not turn your money over. You stay independent. You keep your own money to yourself.
You would say that.
I'm in a wonderful relationship with a man that I love.
Mhm.
Been with him for over 20 years. He has his own accounts. I have my own accounts.
And do you feel that as liberating?
Yes, I do.
Do you ever have to explain to the man you're with now where $2,000 went?
Absolutely not.
Never.
Never.
If, say, you're a little short this month and you got to go to him for $1,000, he just gives you $1,000, or does he go, what for? Or when can I get it back?
No, he would never ask for it back. He may ask what I need it for, but maybe not.
So your man right now is not soft and cuddly and cushy.
No.
And he's not that, but you
No.
must know beyond a reasonable doubt he loves you.
Oh, I know that.
Yes.
And when I'm sick,
And he can be grumpy, but
Oh,
he
God,
does
yes.
love you.
he does love me. And when I'm sick or I'm hurting,
Yes.
he is there for me
Yes.
without a doubt.
So, I mean, did you have a moment in time where that was completely validated for you, where you realized, oh, despite all Jim's short, I am lucky to have him?
Several times in our 20 years, I
Mhm.
have almost died.
Mhm.
And I have been in the hospital. And I have come out of a coma and seen this man praying over me and crying for me.
So, and those were the times where you realize, do you think he loves you more than you love him?
I don't know.
Because, my dad gave me like 3 pieces of wisdom in his life. He said, be with a man who loves you more. Make sure he sings. Do you know none of my partners sang except for Billy?
Jim sings.
Jim sings. And drive this car, which was, I have translated that into a life's mentality. When my dad was saying it, I was in the car going, well, that guy's behind me too close. And he said, drive this car. But what it can mean, Terry, is drive your own life. Just don't pay attention to all the stuff around you. Just drive your own life.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just drive that car. So when you have these moments, well, nobody has probably ever said to you, Jim, why are you with him? I can't see anybody saying that
No.
to you. But if somebody said that to you, you could simply go, I'm driving this car because I know this man's got my back.
Well, my family in the beginning said, "What are you with him for?"
They did?
Oh yeah,
But you've
because
known him since you were 14 years
I
old.
know, but Jim used to chase around.
Oh.
Jim was so handsome when he was younger, and he was a skirt chaser.
He was.
And when the first time I had dinner with Jim, before we were ever intimate, everyone in my family, and they were all alive except for Jimmy, everyone in my family called me and said, "What are you doing?"
And were you distracted by that? Did
No.
you think, what am I doing? Or
No.
you just, that was, because
No,
once you
we
called
weren't
him and
intimate
reached,
together.
that's fine. But I'm saying, once you reached out to him, you guys were like together from that point on.
Yes. Yes. And
So,
I
I mean-
said, "He's fine." I
Mhm.
said, we're just hanging out together at this point. We'll see what happens from here. And from then on, it was clear sailing.
So as we go through life, every decade love has renamed itself or has a different meaning. And do you like this love better than the loves you've had in the past?
Yes, this is a much safer
Yes.
and a much more caring love.
It is.
I don't have to worry about what he's doing behind my back.
You don't worry about that at all.
Not at all.
That's good.
Yes, it is good.
Because the other two marriages, you worried.
Oh yeah. The first one became an alcoholic and a rapist.
Mm-hmm.
The second one became such a cheater and a liar.
So do you say, not probably consciously, I said consciously, because my first one was a cheater, then my second one indulged. And I thought my third one's not going to do that, but then my third one, you can't even count as married.
No, he was
But
there.
yeah. But he didn't do those things. So I mean, at least you find yourself, because your second husband didn't do what your first husband, you kind of pat yourself on the back going, geez, I changed that strategy.
Yeah.
But then you got a whole new set of problems. So then when you meet your current partner, do you think, well, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that, so he already checks off all those boxes?
Right.
And do you think that's what it was, Terry, a matter of checking off boxes?
I think that was a part of it. Plus, we had known each other for so long and gotten along so well and had the same sense of humor and all sorts of things.
Well, I noticed with Jim, he never throws your past in your face.
Never.
He doesn't do that.
No.
He never goes down that, because he knows your past.
Oh, yeah. He knows both my ex.
Yeah, so he does never, I mean, I don't know him like, of course you do, but I have never seen him, I've never seen him that angry really at you, but in those periods, he don't seem like a kind of man that would throw your past in your face.
Right.
Which makes it a much more mature love.
Although he gets stupid about Steve.
He does?
Yeah, he'll get just an ex-boyfriend. He'll just get stupid about him once in a while.
Really? Was he, because he was right after Steve?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's nothing mean. It's just stupid.
Right, of course.
Because Steve was stupid.
Well, you were coming out of a, marriage, and you were dipping your toes in the dating pool. What'd you know?
Yes.
And you dated. How long did you date him?
Maybe a year.
But there were some good things that came out of that. Didn't you like his sister a lot?
Oh, I love Linda.
Yeah.
And his mother.
Yeah.
So I hate him.
There was good things. There were good things that came out of that. Yeah. Didn't you go to his sister's wedding or something?
Yes, out in Las Vegas.
And Jim went with you.
Yes, and that's how we met Phil. And Phil became an extremely close friend. He's like a brother of mine.
Oh, I thought Phil was already Jim's friend.
No, Phil was a friend of the family.
Mm-hmm.
And so Phil became our friend. Phil was a friend of Scene.
Oh, okay. And then she divorced him, right?
Yes.
Oh,
and we kept Phil.
And you kept Phil.
Yeah.
So that's what happens in these relationships. You don't get to keep the friends. Now, has that been a hard thing to navigate, the friendships?
No, Linda and I haven't spoken in a long time, only just because we haven't spoken. But like I said, we get to keep Phil, and that's great.
That's
And
great.
Philip,
So what about the first relationship? Did you have to, you didn't have to split the friendships because you had isolated yourself so much being the wife
of
you
what,
did,
who?
of Tony, your
Um,
first, that you didn't have a lot of outside friends.
Well, I kept David. You're
Well, okay, that was Ian. That was his cousin. No.
no, that was his best friend since he was 5 years old.
Oh, okay, right. You did keep him. I thought he was somebody's godfather.
He is. He's Annie's godfather.
Oh, okay, so he is.
Yes.
All right. But then so often there's these friendships that you lose in a relationship that ends.
Right.
You know, a lot of times you go out as couples and he was the guy's friend, so you lose those relationships. I never did, but I never had guys who had friends that I wanted to maintain relationships with. So I mean that's difficult. So if you talk to a young woman today and you had to give her one piece of advice, what would you tell her? Aside from, you know, pay attention and watch out on all that really gut wrenching advice.
Keep your own finances.
You would
and
tell.
watch. Yes. Watch your back.
Because now you have a separate account, right?
Yes.
You don't do anything collectively.
No.
Not out of malice.
No.
This is
If
just how
one of us or the other needed something, we would certainly hand it over. That's not a problem.
But you went into this relationship, Terry, with some clarities. You know, I'll pay this, this, and this.
Correct.
You pay for this. I'll take care of Christmas. You take care of vacation.
Correct. I pay for all the gifts. He pays for all the vacations. All the gifts.
Right. And he pays for all the vacations.
Correct.
So, I mean, and he's a great planner.
Correct.
He plans great vacations, so
Correct.
you don't have to do anything but show
Correct.
up.
Correct.
So, I mean, I think that's great advice to young women.
Yes.
Power is money.
Yes.
Money is control.
Yes.
I like that. So you would tell every young woman that's getting into their marriage or their relationship and they're all full of whatever to have some money.
Correct. Do not turn it all over.
Do you think, Terry, as you reflect back, I found this to be a lot of cases that women are planners. We don't leave a relationship right away. We take our time, we plan, and then we exit.
Yes. And if you get that
Feeling,
instinct,
listen,
yes, don't pull back
right.
like I did.
Right. Well, you all did it. We've all done it.
Because it's gonna happen.
I mean, how many times you walk that line and you're walking the line and but not both feet are on the other side of the line. And the day you decide to step over with both feet, there ain't no turning back. You can't change your mind. You can't be convinced otherwise.
That's right. Because it's gonna come and you're gonna be really in bad shape.
So when you leave these relationships, you always left broke.
Yes. And I've never looked back. Don't look back. That's the other piece of information.
Don't look back. You're absolutely right. But I gotta say, in reflection, it's a bitch starting over every time.
It is.
It is a
bitch. It is a bitch. But don't look back.
No, don't
make the mistakes so many women make. They look back and they run back.
Yeah.
And that's the worst mistake you can make.
Because we've done it. We have done it.
Only because when I started to pull the trigger, I stopped. But once I was out, I have never looked back.
But Terry, when you started to pull that trigger, you were pulling that trigger. You had already kind of committed to a condo. I mean,
yes,
you were more than halfway there.
And yes, I did. And I retained an
did.
attorney.
Yes.
But once I divorced, I never looked back. And a lot of women do.
Yeah.
Laura, my daughter-in-law, called my son-in-law and said, I had a dream. We got back together. And my son-in-law said, it was only a dream.
Wow. So in closing, aside from those two powerful pieces of advice, how do you want to close this interview?
Be careful. Just be careful. Watch what you're doing. You may love them dearly.
Keep your eyes open.
That's absolutely right. Keep your eyes open.
I think to add to your other great advice, pay attention. Pay attention to
Absolutely.
that gut. You don't got to be
Absolutely.
spying. You don't got to be that
That's right.
detective. Your gut is going to tell you,
That's right.
listen, ladies, listen.
That's right.
All right. Would you do this again with me? I like
Sure.
this. You would do this
Sure.
again?
Sure.
I
would.
thought you were very transparent and
Thank
very,
you.
yeah, I thought it was very good.
Thank you.
All right, Terry, say goodbye.
Goodbye. Take care.